we don't always seem to have a lasting effect of joy and happiness in our lives. This is something which I thought focused a lot on for a while ago, because I noticed that I was constantly in a great good cycle, good days, good periods of my life, and then I was entering more so negative cycles in my life, and I didn't really know why that was happening. Like when I seemed to figure some things out, when I seemed to figure something out, some type of habit or some type of thought, I just entered into the next one and the next one and the next one. And this is what I see for many of us. Many of us are actually able to contain a lot of happiness and joy and fulfillment, and we're starting to understand and learn how we can feel more inspired in our days, how we can be more uplifted, how we can feel gooder about ourselves and our days. And we have these cycles, we have these days of happiness and joy. But then we are also entering another way of the days when we are feeling a little bit more negative, when we feel that we are not in a good headspace, and periods that falls after the good periods, where we feel that those are more negative, things happen to us that we don't want to happen to us, and so forth. So I've been really thinking through that what have I been doing, because this has been one of the most important like internal growth that I've been doing for myself, to look through that how can I turn these cycles, how can I turn my cycles into good cycles, and how can I make them last, how can I make them sustain, how can I make them to be here, how can I feel lighter and lighter each and every day and don't feel that I'm falling so many steps back. So because of that, I want us to focus on that. Why it seems as if your cycles of good cycles don't last. Why is it that your good periods don't last for you, and how can we make them last? What is the key? So what I've been thinking through is that, well, we're doing a lot of different tweaks. I've been doing a lot of different adjustments. So what is the kind of main themes in regards to these adjustments? What has made me to feel much more energized and feel that even though I have these periods where I'm not feeling that I'm in the best headspace, I'm able to get myself out of it so much quicker, but I'm also able to not get into that kind of heavy headspace that I've been from before. So I started to think through that, and I have a lot of different tweaks and a lot of different adjustments for a certain situation. But if we're just seeing at the broader picture, if we're just seeing it in a higher perspective, what is it that we're talking about then? And this is what we're going to go through today. So I'm just going to give you everything that I feel that I've been needing when I was in a lower headspace, or like in a headspace where I felt that I wasn't I wasn't feeling so good about myself, and I wasn't feeling so good about my days, and I wonder like, why did I end up here again? Why do I always fall back? You know, when I had all these kind of questions. And this is also helping you if you are in a moment of your time when you feel that, okay, I actually not feel so fulfilled from where I'm at, and how can I get out of this headspace? Since I noticed that, okay, there are different habits I have, there are different type of thoughts, there are different type of, so to say, wounds I have, there is a so different type of like how I've been just thinking and behaving and assuming about the world. There are so many different things, you know. So when I start to see that, okay, we will always come more, like, will it ever stop? It will always come more. I realized that it wasn't the things in itself, it was the pattern in itself of that I was in a cycle. It was the pattern in itself that it was seemed to always be something that took my energy down, or made me feel a little bit less energized, or made me feel a little bit more negative, or whatever, right? It always seemed to be something. So I started to realize that it is the pattern in itself, that I was focusing a lot on why isn't things working out? Why isn't things happening for me? Why am I not feeling better yet? Why can I not be more focused? Why am I not happy right now? Why do I not feel fulfilled? why am I not? I had like this, why am I not? Why am I not? Why am I not? Because that was kind of the process where I started. Like, I needed to start to see that what doesn't serve me, what doesn't help me in this life. What is it that I've been doing until now that isn't working for me? So that is a process in itself. I truly believe that is a process in itself, and at some point we need to have a look at it as well also. Like, if you're a moment in time when you feel that there are a lot of shit that doesn't work out for me, that I want a different life, I want to reinvent myself, I want a totally new version, then go ahead and look into what is it that doesn't work, because that is kind of where you can start. But after a while, you have to realize that you have to let go of that strategy, because that is only a strategy to get you into a new type of foundation. So then you have to let go of the strategy of always finding out why things aren't working out for you, why things isn't happening for you, why you do feel sad all the time, or whatever it might be. And instead start to focus on the positive cycles, because then you will continue to create those positive cycles of what is it that is working. Why is everything working great for me? Why is everything working so great? You start to ask like that. You start to ask yourself that, okay, what is it that I want to focus more on? Okay, I feel a lot energized when I'm doing this. How can I do more of that? How can I be more in this kind of environment? So you're shifting and changing this cycle and turn your focus. And usually we know this one. This is not like new information. This is kind of the foundation. You have to have that in place in order for you to start to create this positive cycles for you, remaining positive cycles and days that last for you. Get really, really close to your self-sabotage. Get to know your self-sabotage. This is something that I mentioned in another video, that it took a long time for me to really take it seriously and really ask myself, like, how is it that I'm self-sabotaging? And I noticed that self-sabotage grew stronger and stronger the happier than that I got, because I had like this kind of ways for me that it felt comforting, and I felt that I was in my comfort space if I wasn't too happy. I couldn't be threatened in any type of way. Like, no one else can be threatened of me. People couldn't be like mad at me, or like, I just was this kind of person who wanted to be as invisible as possible in a way, if that makes sense, because when I'm unseen, I at least am not a threat to anyone. So the happier that I got, the more I was like, can I really feel like this happy? So I took on like these different type of small things that I did in order for me to not feel that sense of happiness, to not feel like it could be this good. Or when something was really going in the right direction, something happened. When like something happened that turned into like a more negative cycle. Something was abrupting the good cycle. Something was happening, so it didn't continue and didn't sustain in that way. And I really thought to myself, like, why is this happening? Like, this is weird. I'm in such a good vibration now, right now. This is weird. Why is this happening? And I had like this minor thoughts, or I can get more doubtful, or I was picking up my phone, and I'm usually not a person who likes to be so much on social media, and I went to social media when I said and had a really good idea, or I called a friend when I was about to actually like just sink into a project. I did all these kind of small things in order for me to not actually do what brought me the most happiness and where I could really shine. So the more and better that I felt, and I noticed those signals still, like sometimes when I have a really good week, or I have a really good days, or whatever it might be, I notice that, now it turns, what is happening? And then I noticed that I changed a little bit in my behavior. I changed a little bit in my attitude. It's subtle. I don't really like, it's subtle, so I don't like really see it if I'm not like being careful and really look at it, that I was self-sabotaging. It felt threatening to have it like have such a good days and be so happy and feel so happy and feel that it can only be better and better and better. And I would give you that advice to, when you notice in the minute, like in the second, when you start to notice that you have a great period and you notice that something is happening, something is changing, something is shifting. Pay attention to what you've been doing and why, and ask yourself, like, is there something that I'm maybe afraid of this? What can that be? Why don't I want this change really to happen? Is there something within me that says that it's better to stay here than there? And when you ask yourself, like, why do I want to necessarily stay here? What are the benefits for me staying in the place where I'm in? Then the conversation starts to get going in, and you will start to get answers, and then you will start to understand that, okay, so this is why I see that these are these and these and these benefits, why I am not really daring or wanting to take my step into this version of me instead, and having these cycles for me all the time. So that's a great example if you want to dig deeper into your self-sabotage. I have a video called The Universe Tests You is a Limiting Belief. And this is going a little bit into the same topic. So if you want a depth in that, go to that video. But what I talk about that and what I see a lot is that I hear and see people, and I don't know where it comes from. And I continue to see YouTube videos that, like, the universe tests you. You have to be tested first. You have to go through this test before you can get this type of thing. And though that I believe that we just see it from different type of perspectives, though I believe that we kind of mean the same, but it gives away different type of vibrations. So it can be more or less helpful, so to say, that type of thought or that type of understanding. For me, how I understand it as, you don't need to agree with me, but for me and how I understand it as is that we are actually not being tested. There is no kind of universal tests. The universe always have my back. The universe do always want to support me. The universe wants you to feel ease. The universe wants you to play. The universe wants you to have fun, because the universe knows that when that happens, like Source knows, when that happens, it will just be even better. You will just raise your frequency even more, and that is what we are meant to do here on Earth at this point. So because of that, we are not being tested. We're not being tested just to see, like, ha ha ha, let's see if you can manage this one. Let's see if you really want this one. There's no one. If there's one who is testing you, it's you. You're the only one who's testing you, because also the universe is you. You are the universe. So if someone is testing someone, you are testing you. Why I believe that people have this misconception is because when we have periods and thoughts and times when we are in a little bit more negative headspace, when we are worrying, when we're feeling a lot of doubt, when we are questioning the whole thing or whatever it might be, then we have created a lot of energy in regards to that. We have created different type of outcomes, and we have created different type of results because of those thoughts, because of those attitudes, because of those actions we've been taking with that type of vibration. So when we're turning into a better season, when we are having like improved and more so positive, optimistic, and we're creating more opportunities for ourselves, then we can sometimes see that something happens to us and it crosses, like it happens to us, and we are wondering why I'm in such a good headspace right now. But that is because you maybe have been creating something when you were in another type of headspace that you now see the effects of. So these kind of like dips might actually be because of something that you have been like creating from before. And that's why I believe that we have this misconception of that we are being tested. If you ask for something that you are not fully embodying, that you are not fully being in the now, that's why you're having that desire, you're asking something that you see that you don't have right now and so forth, right? When you ask yourself that, you are also putting out to the universe like, hey, help me. I need support in order for me to become this person, in order for me to become this type of vibration and this energy. So that's why you will also get into different type of situations when you are practicing it. Let's say that you want to be at your best at this time and just being in a really good zone because you want to meet a couple of new best friends, for instance. And then what happens to you is that you meet people that are a little bit weird to you, that you don't really resonate with, where you don't feel that, okay, wow, this was not the vibe I wanted, this was not what I wanted, and you are feeling a little bit like less like faithful in it or interested in it or whatever it might be. But you have asked for, no matter what happens, I want a great vibe. I don't care about, like, no one outside of me will give me this happiness. I am happy as I am. I am fulfilled as I am. And no matter what happens outside, I am fulfilled. And because of that, I will be attracting great people to me. So what is happening is that when you're attracting like other people, that you're still aligning your vibration, right? You're still on your alignment in your vibration. And when you attract people that are, they're quite there, but maybe not quite there, for instance, you're also practicing to keep your vibration no matter what, which you said that you wanted. You want a great vibration, no matter if you have a lot of friends or not. You want to feel great. You want to have fun throughout your days, no matter what. So that's why you're also practicing that. That is what's happening. That is the only thing that is happening. It's not a test. You're just practicing and improving, becoming even more so a master within yourself. So you can see it as a test. I do see that you can see it as a test. I do see that you can see it from that perspective. What I don't like with that kind of saying is that I see many of us get into this negative headspace. Many of us feel that we don't have control over the situation. We just say, like, why is the universe against us? And why is things that's happening to us? And we get into this kind of shrinked victim mentality mindset, and we're not just feeling good about ourselves, and that will not help us in the situation. That will not help us to be in a great headspace, so we are in great cycles of our days, right? That will not give us lasting happiness and joy and contentment. So because of that, sometimes when we're just tweaking a little bit how we talk about things, and kind of the perspective of something, of the same concept, so to say, that can make a big difference in our lives. Two more things. What really helped me to get into better cycles of my life and feeling that I'm in a good headspace and feeling that I'm so much lighter each and every day is, first and foremost, that I looked into my doubt, worry, and hesitation. I talk about that a lot, and I see that there are so many people that are doubting themselves, are hesitating, are shifting between decisions, are not really wanting to move forward with something, or not really want to do something fully, half-assing things. We're hesitating, we're questioning ourselves, we're getting into this kind of doubtful states, and it happens to the best. I really see that it happens to the best, and this is something which I see also is maybe something that we collectively need to shift and change for now. Because also every time that we are doubting, every time that we are feeling some certain type of worry, we are changing the course. So let's say that you are creating a great positive cycle, and you start to amplify this cycle. You're spreading the rings on the water, and suddenly you're doubting, for instance. A big stone is being thrown in the water, and the rings are suddenly just vanishing, so to say, right? So the thing is with doubt and hesitation and worry is that it abrupts the pattern, and hesitation doesn't really, like, worry and doubt, I see it as it abrupts the pattern, whereas hesitation, it goes back and forth, so you're a little bit in between, so you can feel this kind of stagnated energy. That's the best way that how I explain it as. So dealing with your doubt, dealing with your worry, and feeling less worried and doubtful and hesitating, questioning yourself, that has been one of the major things how I can have more lasting cycles, of positive cycles, of good cycles, good days, good periods in my life. So that has been really helpful. Okay, I realized that I already been talking about the last one, so I will not go into it again, but I will just say that, understanding and seeing things as a curve, seeing things as that things are happening to us, and when we have been a certain headspace or when we have been in a certain type of period of time, we can sometimes see it affects a little bit later. So when we are in this kind of better and like a good headspace of ours, in a good vibe, in a good energy where we feel really great, then when something negative happens, we should just see it as, oh, okay, something from the past is revisiting. Great, okay, how do I want to approach this time? How do I want to approach this time so that I can break this cycle, so I can make this cycle different from before, so I can continue this loop of positivity and creating opportunities for myself instead. So start with what resonated for you the most. Start with the one that you felt that, okay, yeah, I'm ready for this. This is totally what I want to do at this point. I hope that this was helpful for you. If you are interested in working closer with me, I do have a coaching package out called Struggle Free. In Struggle Free, we go through a lot of negative cycles and what type of cycles, patterns that we have been creating for ourselves and how we can break these cycles. This is, as I said, something in the beginning, something that I've been working with a lot myself. I have one of the most passions is actually how we can break these negative cycles. So in Struggle Free package, I do have a lot of material in regards to that. We will go through what it is specifically for your situation, since this is a one-on-one coaching. So we will also look through that, what is it that specifically you need at this point in order for you to break your cycles and start to create more positive ones, start to create lasting cycles in your life, and not feeling that kind of inconsistency within your soul, inconsistency within your energies. So if you're interested, you have all the information in the description. I hope that this was so helpful for you. Give it a like if you like it. Let me know which one you will start with, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Keep on listening to your within talks.